Hi, my name is John Alexis Guerra Gomez, and I'm an information visualization scientist and researcher working on helping people find insights out of their own data by means of information visualizations. If you go to my website, johnguerra.co, you are going to be able to find all the information about myself, what are the areas that I do research on. I'm very interested in InfoVis, data science, building systems, especially with web development and tools and the different tools I use. If you scroll a little bit, you're going to see a little bit of my timeline, and then many of the projects I have worked on. You can click on each one of these and then see results about those, like some highlights of different projects, publications, and more interestingly, some of the students that have worked with me and the projects they have developed under my tutoring. So as a quick screenshot or idea of the different projects I have worked on, I've done a lot of work on three data structures. Comparing, for instance, this is a very old project, my PhD thesis, that helps you see what has changed in a data set over time by comparing it using hierarchies. You can use different representations and then adjust many different elements. Since I don't want to spend too much on this, but for instance, I can see in here that this is the National Cancer Institute death index for lung cancer, or lung cancer death index. And then as you can see, between, in this case, 1999 to 2000, there was an increase on that index. And it was due to white people. And out of those white people, it was mainly because of female. And then here are the different deciles that are showing which ones were the ones that were actually increasing. I have also done a lot of work on network visualization. I'm very interested in that area. Also on representing information and navigating and being able to explore. For instance, these are my Facebook friends, and then being able to just run directly on the browser a clustering algorithm and then see them distributed across the screen. And if for some reason like this specific cluster is interesting to you, being able to jump into that one and continue doing some analysis in there, like maybe say show me only certain nodes that have about a certain number of links, or just recompute clusters and things like that. So as you can see, things that are extremely interactive that allow the person to do analysis without even actually having how to code. You can also see other examples that are more in the area of visual storytelling, like an analysis I did on the results of the Colombian election, going from the classical maps that actually are not really good for visualizing election results. And I'm explaining there that becomes because like a land area is not the one that is voting, so you replace that with dots for each city, and then also use the space or like the area depending on how many people live in that specific city. You get a better idea. But then now that you have that, it's actually better just to get rid of the map and just distribute the dots across like things in here, that how many people voted to the right or to the left. And then now you can see why the right won in Colombia. I have also done a lot of work on visualizing photos and how to navigate, and this is a very interesting topic for me, how to navigate large collections of photos, in this case the Flickr 2015 data set. Like for instance, if I want to see only photos from Japan, from Hyogo Prefecture, whatever you pronounce that, and then group by how many photos are from each one of those regions, or come back and see, I don't know, maybe photos from Mexico and then from Jalisco, and continue that exploration. And more recently, have been very interested in providing tools for multivariate data sets. Like, what do you do if you just got a new data set? Like, for instance, if you go to navio.dev, you can see this tool that it's a small widget that you can reuse in your applications, or you can use with your own data. Like loading, for instance, in here, let's say, for instance, this airport data set with 3,000 records and 7 attributes is a quiet piece of cake in here. And then you can just say, I only want to see flights directly from California that belong to this specific latitude, sorting by that, and then grouping by that. Or you can go and load something bigger, like for instance, this FIFA data set is quite interesting. and it has almost 20,000 records with almost 90 attributes. And you can go and say, let me collapse that and explore it a little bit deeper. You can see that all of these attributes that contain different ratings for or skill sets for different characteristics of the players in the video game, and then these ones that have way lower values. If you group by those or sort by those rather, you can see that these are the goalkeepers, and the ones that have high values for these have low values for the other ones, as you can see in here. There is also another application of Navio here with a MoMA dataset from the Museum of Modern Art, when you can very easily go and sort and say, I only want to see pieces out of the 133,000 pieces, only the ones that have an actual image, and then out of those I only want to see the ones that come from American artists, and then out of those organized, for instance, by gender. You can see that there is a big imbalance in there. And then here is like the same but for French, and then now you can see that it's even worse for them. Finally, I have some other applications, like for instance in here, combining Navio with a new map visualization. That is a dimensionality reduction. As you can see, it's quite slow for the 7,000 records, but you can go and say, I only want to see these for fruits and pork and vegetables. And then out of those two groups, let me see how the algorithm works. And then change all the hyperparameters to see if you arrive to a different result. And then finally, another area of work that is very interesting to me, it's just being able to help, is in accessibility, and is helping blind people see images through their hands. So how can you explore visual information with your hands? So this is a website that we created. It's called Be Tactile with my wife, and with her we have been working on collecting these and perfecting different techniques. So if you're interested also in this type of social research, we can work together with that. So if you're interested in working with me, please feel free to reach out. All the information about myself, you can find it in my website, just johnguerra.co, and thank you very much.